6 weeks of development on a first-person bookstore management game.
Week 1. The goal: to make a system-heavy, first-person retail simulation I want to play. I started simple. I started with the player, books and the shelves, and some free assets. The player was created to interact with the environment. I made the books rigid bodies at this stage. A basic NPC framework was built. The register, scanner, and other scripts were already being implemented. Still in their infancy, systems were beginning to take shape. The NPCs are hardwired at this point, and I could manually put in marker 3D nodes as the NPC's physical reference points as I worked on the register, ledger, and scanner scripts. The majority of Week 3 was spent working on the economic systems.
The register system was simple: ring in books, end transaction, and update the ledger. After these systems worked, I got to work implementing the wholesale system and auction system, since there was now a ledger in place to track the flow of money. This is also when I began work on the market manager script. At this point, my momentum was strong, and I was grinding code most waking hours of my day, building the base economic architecture. Overall, though, there wasn't any flashy work done in Week 2, just core systems work. Week 3 is where things got fun. The book payload data system was refined to its current form. Creating new books was as easy as changing the data in their .tres files. This means adding new titles is trivial and takes around a minute. Next on the list of tasks was getting the books to auto-generate text on their spines and covers so the player could easily tell what books they were looking at in a shelf or in their hand. The goal was readability, and it read well. I took a bit of time midweek to work on some storefront models as a little creative break before designing my sign customization system that allows the player to put in custom text and colors along with a simple UI for it. It was at this point I discovered CSG shapes and the CSG combiner. This would become key later on, but in week 3 it was used exclusively to mock up storefronts. The systems were really starting to feel like they were coming together at this point, and my morale was through the roof. But I was getting tired of all the systems work, and so I knew it was time to focus on more creative tasks to prevent burnout. Week 4 is where the art direction was decided on. After attempting to use free 3D assets in my game, it was clear that free assets weren't an option. They didn't have a cohesive style. Since my 3D modeling skills are not good, and there is no way I am spending hundreds of hours making basic 3D assets, I decided on a low-resolution style. This is also where I decided I wasn't going to use special 3D modeling software, but I was going to make all models inside Godot using CSG shapes and baking them into meshes. This allowed for asset creation in minutes versus hours. By the end of week 4, I had all kinds of assets like board games, plants, tables, chairs, a new register model. The list goes on, but after a week of making assets, it was time to get back to the architecture. Week 5 was all about NPCs. I started off by setting up the systems that would generate the NPC pool at the start of a game. Each NPC is a permanent data point in the simulation. The NPC personality system and the NPC brain were also refined. They went from having to be told what to do directly to now having free will. An NPC spawns with its own priorities and responds to the environment around it. The NPC social system was also created during this week. It keeps track of individuals' trust score. The trust score determines how likely an NPC is to do things like appear at your shop or buy things. I found programming the NPC AI to be extremely rewarding. And this brings us to week 6. This is where the game systems are starting to come together. I finished working on the box spawning system and boxes, and I started working on new categories of products, made a tablet UI system, and upgraded my market manager system. But now, the major systems are in place. Week 6 over.